Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Alright folks, today we're diving deep into some recent moves that could really shake up the offensive line for the Washington Commanders. And trust me, this isn't just filler news, this could have a tangible impact on how the team performs this season and beyond. The Commanders made a significant addition to their offensive line this week, signing tackle Niang to their 90-man roster. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Who is Niang and why should we care? Well, let me tell you, this is a signing with some interesting layers, especially considering what the team lost recently and what they need moving forward. First off, it's important to understand the context. The Commanders had a bit of a gap on their offensive line after guard Nate Herbig announced his retirement earlier this week. Herbig was a solid presence, and his departure leaves a void that the team is clearly eager to fill with someone who has NFL experience and potential. That's where Niang comes into play. Signed recently, he's a player who's been around the league, has some intriguing attributes, and might just be what the Commanders need to bolster their depth on the offensive front. Now, talking about Niang himself, he was a third-round pick back in 2020 by the Kansas City Chiefs. That's no small feat. Being selected in the third round shows a lot of promise and talent. But as is often the case with NFL players, his journey has been a bit unconventional. He decided to opt out of playing during the pandemic, which meant he missed the 2020 season entirely. That was a tough break for him because, at that time, he was considered a promising tackle with the potential to develop into a starter. He finally made his NFL debut in 2021, and that's when things really started to pick up. In his rookie season, Niang made 9 starts at right tackle, showing that the Chiefs had enough confidence in him to put him out there as a starter. That's impressive for a young player, adjusting to the NFL's speed and complexity. But then, as the years went on, his role shifted more towards being a reserve. Over his final 28 appearances in both the regular season and playoffs, Niang mainly served as a backup. That suggests that while he has talent, he's still looking to find consistency and a true starting role, which he might get now with the Commanders, especially given the need for depth on their offensive line. Last season, Niang's NFL journey took a bit of a detour. He spent most of it on the Chiefs' practice squad, which isn't uncommon for players trying to find their footing after injuries or roster shuffles. He was released in November, and that's when the opportunity for Washington comes knocking. The Commanders see potential in him, and with the right coaching and environment, Niang could really develop into a reliable piece on their offensive front. Let's talk a little about the current tackle situation in Washington. The team has some notable names at the top of the depth chart. Laremy Tunsil, a player with a stellar track record, is firmly established as a key figure on the offensive line. He's known for his pass protection and run blocking, and his presence provides a stabilizing force. Alongside him, the team has Andrew Wiley, a former Chiefs teammate of Niang, which adds an interesting layer to this story. Wiley's versatility and experience make him a critical part of the line. Then there's Trent Scott and the rookie first-round pick Josh Kennerly, both vying for playing time and trying to carve out their roles. What does this all mean for the Commanders? Well, bringing in Niang adds much-needed depth, especially considering how unpredictable injuries can be in the NFL. It also signals that the team is serious about shoring up their offensive line for the upcoming season. They want reliable options, guys who can step in when called upon and provide stability. With Niang's experience and potential, he might just be that guy. But it's not just about depth. This signing could be a sign of the team's plan to develop him further. If Niang can stay healthy and adapt to the Commanders' system, he could push for more playing time, maybe even earn a starting spot if he impresses during training camp. That's the kind of competition that drives teams to perform at their best, and Washington is certainly looking to improve along their offensive line after last season's ups and downs. From a broader perspective, this move also reflects the team's strategic approach. The Commanders have been making smart roster moves this offseason, trying to balance veteran stability with youthful upside. Signing a player like Niang, who's still relatively young at 26 and has NFL experience, fits perfectly into that mold. They're not just adding bodies, they're adding potential. If he can stay healthy and continue developing, he could become an important piece in their puzzle, especially for protecting their quarterback and creating running lanes for their backs. Now, let's talk about expectations. The NFL is a league where injuries and unexpected setbacks happen constantly. Having a versatile and experienced tackle like Niang gives the Commanders options. If he can stay healthy, he might even challenge for a starting role. And for the team, that's exactly what they want: a player who can step up when needed and provide reliable performance. Plus, his familiarity with the Chiefs' system and experience in high-pressure games like the playoffs could bring a level of stability and leadership to a relatively young group. And of course, we have to keep an eye on how this signing impacts the overall offensive line chemistry in Washington. The team has been steadily building a cohesive unit, and adding a player with NFL starting experience can only help in that regard. It also sends a message to the locker room: Washington is serious about winning, and they're willing to make smart moves to bolster every position, especially along the line where games are often won or lost. As we look ahead to the season, the real question is how Niang will fit into the bigger picture. Will he adapt quickly? Will he stay healthy? Can he earn a starting role or at least become a dependable rotational player? These are the questions fans are asking right now, and it's exciting to see how this story unfolds. The coaching staff will undoubtedly be watching him closely during OTAs and training camp, evaluating his progress and readiness to contribute on Sundays. This signing also highlights the ongoing battle for roster spots and playing time in Washington. With so many talented players vying for limited spots, every snap, every practice rep will be crucial. Niang's challenge will be to prove his worth, to show that he can be a consistent, dependable blocker who can help protect the quarterback and open lanes for the running game. If he succeeds, he could become a fan favorite and an essential part of the team's offensive strategy. And speaking of strategy, let's not forget how important the offensive line is for a team's success overall. A solid line doesn't just protect the quarterback, it sets the tone for the entire offense. A good line can turn a good offense into a great one. So, Washington's investment in depth and talent along the line is a smart move, especially considering how competitive the NFC East is becoming. Teams like the Eagles and Cowboys have formidable defenses, and the Commanders will need every advantage they can get to stay competitive. Now, as we wrap up, I want to remind you all that this signing is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The season is still months away, and a lot can happen between now and then. But it's clear that Washington is serious about improving their offensive line, and bringing in a player like Niang shows a strategic mindset, one focused on building a resilient, versatile, and competitive roster. Remember, fans, the NFL is a league of constant change, and it's those little moves, those strategic signings, that can sometimes make all the difference. Whether Niang becomes a starter or a key backup, his addition adds depth and competition, which is exactly what a team needs to succeed over a grueling 17-game season. So keep your eyes on the Commanders, because with this move, they're making a statement. They're gearing up for a serious push, and they're not backing down. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this signing? Do you see Niang as a potential starter? Or do you think he's more of a depth piece who will push others for playing time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. Thanks for joining me today, and let's keep supporting this incredible team as they gear up for what promises to be an exciting season ahead.